it's Karen, the Weekend Craftaholic, and I'm back for chapter 3 of my Stash Busting September. And today I want to talk all about die cuts and ephemera, all that kind of good stuff. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm not going to refer to any ephemera die cuts that I keep with my paper collections. If you've seen my craft room tour, you'll know I keep all of those in these containers along with any paper, alphas, all that kind of good stuff. So where I've got a collection or quite a lot of pieces in one collection, they get organised here. So I've got them all close to hand. What I'm going to cover off today is where we've got all these random bits. As you can see, there's lots of different pieces that I need to organise. It's a drawer full of it actually. And as I mentioned in my first video, I feel like I'm a bit too organised because I've got them all neatly organised in these containers by colour. And certainly when I first did this, it absolutely worked for me. Don't get me wrong, it was so much quicker to find random pieces because I could just pick up one of these tubs and use them. But the problem is I'm not using them as often as I'd like to. So I am going to pull all of these out, get you on the overhead camera on my desk, and we'll talk about how I'm actually going to make sure I get these used in September. So this video is going to kind of be in two parts. The first of all, what I'm going to show you now is my process of actually going through these boxes and making sure that I'm only going to keep the pieces that I absolutely love, I know I'm going to use. The rest of them I'll actually put away in my de-stash box and I'll give them to a local charity somewhere. We've all got our own way of going through our stash, so I won't spend too much time on this. But the way I do it usually is just to go through, and I've just got this extra little tub here of things that I know I probably won't use, and put stuff back into this little container that I think I probably will use at some point in the future. So these are all mixed from various kits, and yeah, I just, as I said, organise them by colour, so there could be many different kits in here. They were quite cheap and affordable, but then, you know, as you progress with your scrapbooking, you realise you really do like to have cohesive pieces, and so I guess I'm a big fan now of having full collections of things. So this is my process. So actually, that might be good to use on a card. I'll keep that. So you can see I am going to hopefully quite quickly get through some of these cases, and then the idea behind this is when I go through my kits later, I've got storage space left to put any that come out of the kits into here. So I'll just quickly do another one to show you because there's not many in here, thankfully. Now I do love sentiments, so I'll keep all of those. And what I will do is carry on with this process off camera once I finish this one, and then I will come back and show you different ways and ideas of how I'm going to use these. So I'm going to keep these on my desk throughout the month of September, make sure I actually start using them. I'm back, and I just wanted to quickly show you, if possible, just how much that I've got through. A lot of these containers now are pretty much, well, half the size they were. I managed to free up a couple of containers, so much so that all the Christmas leftovers is now in here, so I need to put a label on that. But so many of them I have managed to really reduce down, so that is really good news for when I start to deconstruct some of the old kits that I've got, which when you know you've not got much left in a kit, you tend to just leave it alone. But dispersing it amongst other supplies in my craft room, then hopefully that means I get to use them. I'm just going to put these out of the way, and then I want to show you the mass of leftovers. I hope you can see just how much there is. That little tray was nowhere near enough, so I decided to get a bigger tray to put these in. And yeah, there's an awful lot in there, isn't there? I'm not even sure now what to do with a lot of this. I don't even know whether schools would want it and be able to use it. I don't know. So we will leave it with the rest of the stuff anyway that I need to donate, and it's a problem for another day. I don't feel bad about getting rid of this. I know I'm not going to use the stuff that's in here, and I'm hoping someone else will make good use of it so it won't go to waste. So moving on to the other part of the video, which is all about using them. So you've seen my tubs. Practically got rid of half of what I had, so that is a really good start. But throughout the rest of September, I really want to get those tubs emptied and get a lot of those die cuts used. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to challenge myself for the end of the month, and I will do a video at the end of the month showing you what I've got left over and maybe what I created with it as well, just depending on the length of that video. But here are some ideas for you. So if you've got surplus die cuts in your craft room, I'm not going to state the obvious, which of course is scrapbook layouts, because that's what we use. Well, that's what I use die cuts for generally the majority of times. But there's a few other things you might not have thought about. Of course, I'm going to mention Memorydex cards because that is my favourite thing. And this one is just an example where it was just a pattern paper and then some of this ephemera, these die cuts layered on. So that is always a nice, quick and easy way. So my Memorydex cards for September, I expect to see some of the die cuts that I kept. The other thing that I've very quickly made, I've made a couple of things just to show you. These were actually, didn't make it in my stash because we don't have snow in Australia, but I grabbed them at this little bin just to give you an example. Is obviously gift tags. I'm getting more and more into gift tags. I have to say, I love making I feel like I love making little layouts in the form of Memorydex or gift tags. And this is a very quick and simple way of showing you. It can be very effective just to have a couple of die cuts on a gift tag for you then to send with your gift. So this one I've added a bit of the Nuvo Glimmer Paste just to give that sparkle effect so you can actually see inside the snow globe. It looks very shiny, and I obviously just coloured with some ink in the back as well. That was a white gift tag. I've also very quickly made a card because this is my favourite way of using die cuts as well. So I've added a few gems on there as well just to try and get a snow effect. And yeah, so 3 die cuts, 1 card, less than 5 minutes to make because it is going dark very soon, and I wanted to finish this video off for you just to show you what you can do. And then very lastly, although this isn't one I've just made, this is one I made a long time ago. It was a digital kit actually from Polka Dot Orchard. I'll put all the links down below as always, but yeah, this was all fussy cut out, so effectively lots of little die cuts. I overlapped them, I covered it with a glitter Mod Podge, as you can see. I've done this with a few of my pocket page notebooks actually. I love using die cuts and things on the front of them. So I knew I had another one as well that I could show you. So this was using, so this was one of last year's trends books that I started. This was just, again, using lots of die cuts that I overlaid. This was also covered with Mod Podge. So think a little bit outside the box. It doesn't have to just be scrapbook layouts and cards. You can use these die cuts in a lot of ways. And I really would encourage you to use them in a lot of ways to get them used. So I hope you liked that. Tomorrow there's going to be another video where we're talking all about journaling cards or pocket life cards. I've got way too many of them, so I'll also be purging, but then I'll also be showing you ways you can use them outside of your basic memory keeping and project life work. So have yourself a great Saturday, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.